Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 8 of the Baking Sheet. This week I'm going to be playing Sultai Bolas. It's the deck that I was playing in the Red Bull event this past Saturday. Unfortunately, I had some streaming issues and was not able to show you all the deck. So, this is going to be kind of the way of just showing you what I was playing, what my thoughts were, all that kind of stuff. So, this will be most of the people's first look at the list. So, without further ado, welcome to Baking Sheet Episode 8. Alright. So, what this is it's Sultai Ramp, but I had my check-in at 6:30 in the morning on Saturday. I got up roughly 6 o'clock, and at 6:15 I decided, well, what if the way to beat the Sultai Ramp mirrors is to just splash our boy Bolas here? I mean, it's a good enough card. It's something that most decks are terrified of, and it's kind of free to do it. I mean, a couple Ketria Triome, couple Interplanar Beacon, and that's it. There's only one red little pip there. So, it ended up not too bad, actually. For a last second decision, I think it went fairly well. Mainly what I did is took most of the stock lists that I have been seeing, put a couple Ashok in there, put a couple Bolas, Liliana. I added the Ugins back in. I just think that Ugin overall is a better in-game. And when you're in those grindy control mirrors, which I consider Sultai Ramp basically control at this point, I just think it's better to have the biggest, dumbest thing that you can be playing. So, Ugin's still going to win some games. The one change that I did make from Saturday is instead of a Teferi Time Master of Time, I put in the Royal Scions. They effectively do the same thing, except the ultimate is a bit easier to hit, and with the Nissa lands and, Krasis and Euro, the +2/+0 and first strike trample is actually going to be a little relevant. So that's going to be my big changes there. Also, I'm going to make another change here real quick because I have been a real big fan of the card Elder Gargaroth. So I'm actually going to drop a Wilt and enter the God Eternals for Elder Gargaroth. So that's what we're going to be doing there. Outside of that, it's mostly stock. You got your 1 Tameo, a couple Cultivates, 4 Euros, 3 Krasis, 2 Eliminate, 2 Narset main deck now to kind of hedge against other Sultai Ramp decks. Already have the 3 Extinction Event main. It's just kind of the Sultai board wipe right now, and it's, pretty useful. You can usually play around it fairly well. Sideboard, got 3 Negate, 2 Heartless Act, 1 Elder Spell, 1 Wilt, 2 Ashiok Dream Render, 1 Ritual of Soot, the now newly added 2 Elder Gargaroth, 1 Enter the God Eternals, 1 Thought Distortion, and then me and my buddy Zach, who's been kind of playing these tournaments with me, we thought about the card Erebos' Intervention. Now, this actually does kind of double duty where you can bring it against like mono red or mono black because it actually kills the creatures and you get to gain life. And you can bring it in against the mirrors because you can exile their Euros, you can, exile their Tameo targets, Nissas, what have you. So, it's actually pretty decent. So, not too bad at all. But let's get into the games. I think I'm still sitting at Platinum 3, if I remember right. Let's just find us an opponent here. Now, if you haven't already checked out my streams, I'm usually doing those on Wednesdays and Sundays. It's been Saturday the past couple of times, thanks to the Red Bull events, but typically it's Wednesdays and Sundays. So definitely make sure and catch me there. I try and be as entertaining as possible for all of you. Oof. I'm going to keep this. I'm just going to kind of hedge on hitting more lands. We are running 28, so should be perfectly fine. And having double eliminate is pretty useful. Even if it's Sultai Mirror, then, you know, we can take out their Narsets or whatever. But if not, then these do end up being a couple dead cards. But hopefully it'll work out. Okay, so it does look like we are on the mirror, which means if we can get this Narset down in a timely manner, then that should be good for us. Shuts off your Euros and Krasis and stuff like that. Unfortunately, we do miss on a land drop there, so that sucks. But that's okay. Still not dead. Alright. I mean, not the best thing in the world, but... Now, opponent's probably playing this way because though they have no idea what we're playing. So not shocking in case we're some type of weird, you know, 4-color aggro or something like that. Now, Thought Erasure is an interesting take there. If it were me, I definitely would have taken this Narset, especially since I already have 2 Nissas. But I don't know. So let's go. Well, okay. So just in case this is some type of Sultai Flash, let's go ahead and play Narset to play around Quench. And yep, Casualty seems good there. We already have a Bolas that we can hopefully play. But if not, next turn we still have Nissa. Okay, they have a Nissa of their own, so they can kill the Narset, but we have the double eliminate, so we're not hurting too terribly bad here. Okay, well, So this is going to be a bit risky, but I think with where we're at, we unfortunately kind of have to take some risks. So we're going to go blue, red, forest. This way, if we draw an untapped land, we do still get that eliminate. Now, they could have an Aether Gust here. Okay. Yeah. Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and put that on bottom. I mean, honestly, I'd rather them use it on that than, say, a Nissa or Casualties. So, I'm okay with it. Do get hit for a decent amount here, but if all else fails, we do have this double eliminate. Which looks like all else is failing. Let's just go ahead and make it 2/2 Krasis. We have a backup one now, and we really need to hit those land drops. We're already just super far behind, and basically our only hope is that the opponent doesn't have anything good. So, let's see. This is Heartless Act, sure. This is black, 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 blue or red. So if we have an untapped blue or red source, then we can get a Bolas down and get rid of Nissa. I would like to find an extinction event here, I think. Interplanar Beacon, that's the thing. Okay, so I think then our best line is to just go ahead and play this. Get creature, land, and obviously planeswalker. And basically we're just hoping that that doesn't happen. Alright, so on to game 2. Stumbled on lands there for a little while, and that was definitely the issue there. So against them, we do want Elder Spell. We want a couple negates. You don't really want to go up all the way on them. Do want Thought Erasure and this Ultimatum. I'm going to bring in one Gargaroth. It's not like the best thing in the world, but it is helpful. So we're going to go down an Extinction Event. And down a couple Cultivates and this Royal Scions. And I'm also going to shave down to one of each of these. The Ashiok and the Boluses are really good, but, well, maybe we just keep in Bolas here. Just stopping them of resources is really good to be able to do. And just not bring in the Gargaroth. Actually, here. I'm going to shave Euro for a Gargaroth, and we'll go like that. Now, this is going to be interesting because I'm actually going to go on the draw here. I know it seems a little bit weird, but in these type of mirrors, you are actually, pretty benefited by being able to draw first. And this is a great hand, so we will definitely keep this. We're not losing a ton of value by being on the draw, so. All right, so we will go ahead and shock in here, have our negate up. And we're hitting all of our land drops now, so that is pretty peachy. Okay, so we will definitely go ahead and negate this. One, there's not really much that they can do on turn 4 that we're worried about. And 2, just making sure that they are missing whatever they might be looking for is really helpful to us. And also, now they know, okay, well, they're running Cultivate, so we have to be on the lookout for that. Now, it's possible I should have just let it go and eliminate it, but overall, I just think it's better to not let that happen. Okay, so we try them here. And then we can start cracking our Fabled Passages. If they play a Nissa here, then we will probably be priced into Elder Spell. Thought Distortion hurts a lot. That hurts. Oh, that was about worst case scenario. That was just about worst case scenario. Thought Distortion, man. That is a card I will forever be appreciative of. I love that card so much. Okay, so they're not playing anything, which does scare me a little bit. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, I mean, we're not doing anything else, so might as well just go ahead and play this Krasis. If they counter it, cool. If not, then we have a 4/4 that they now have to deal with. It's possible that they're flooding out, and that Thought Distortion was kind of their, I hope I get them to scoop with this, because they did take 5 very good cards. Well, 4, I guess, because the negate was already in the graveyard. But, we'll see what happens. Another Thought Distortion. Okay. Well, we do get to get our Gargy Boy down now. Gargaroth with Eliminate backup. It's definitely not bad to have. If I was the opponent, I don't know if I would have hit the second Thought Distortion there. Okay, sure. So they have to -5. Yep. And we are a mana short. Ah, that would have been so good. Boy. Okay. That's all right. We still have decent draws. One mana off. There he is. I mean, I'm sure they have a counter now, but, well, what else are we doing, They don't. Okay. Well, the good thing is our Ugin kills their Ugin in a couple of turns. They could have casualties here, and that would suck, but let's just hope they don't. Yep, there it is. I found it. Wish we got to keep our casualties, but no, somebody had to be a jerk. Good thing is this still dies to Nissa. Speak of the devil. Okay, well we can eliminate Narset, so that's not the end of the world. They hit Nissa. Okay, sure. So actually what we're going to do is blow up the land that they animate. Just go ahead and do that now. Now they're only left up with a single blue or black mana. Okay, now we freely get to play Nissa. Go ahead and plus on the island. I don't think I actually really care about Narset right now. So I think we're just going to go after the Ugin. Now, they get to plus and hit our lands, and that sucks. But, you know, it's about all that we can do right now. Oh, they're just going after Nissa. Interesting. And they have an eliminate. Okay. Yeah. Now watch. We're going to draw a Crisis next turn, and we're going to feel real dumb for not killing that Narset. That too. And we're dead. Okay. Yeah, just unfortunate draws there. Got hit by double Thought Distortion, and that's definitely why you want that kind of card in the mirror. Just destroys everything that they do. That's okay. We'll just shake it off and go up for game number 2. I definitely love this type of game, though. Like, having this type of meta where it's basically two, like, grindy control / ramp decks headbutting. That's the kind of stuff that I love. I absolutely love those type of, like, chess matches, I guess, is how I would say it. Like, you're both just hoping for a little bit ahead, like, a little bit of something to get ahead of the opponent. And it's just, I don't know. It's awesome. I love it. So I'm going to go a little risky here, and I'm going to pitch a land. I'm going to start off with a Fabled Passage, searching up for a swamp. This will probably do a couple things. This will maybe make them think that we're on mono black, but also it makes sure that we can have Eliminate up if we need to. Doesn't look like we need to just yet, so we will go ahead and play this Triome. But, you know, this gives us the option of having whatever mana that we could possibly need. Okay, Sprite Dragon, that's definitely a good eliminate target. Euro is good. Without having the guaranteed land drop, I think it's best to just wait on Euro, and we go ahead and Sprite Dragon now. That way they don't have something like Lazatep Plating or even Miscast up. Okay, so yeah, now we're forcing them to have, you know, Sprite Dragon plus something else. Okay, so then now we will just go ahead and play... Oh wait, we couldn't play Euro anyway, so never mind. It wasn't a smart play for me to not play Euro, I just physically couldn't do it. That's okay. Next turn, we have Extinction Event, so hopefully they play out another spell or two. You know, or they just shock us to death. We probably will go ahead and Extinction Event, to be completely honest. Maybe we Euro here and just hope. Does gain some life. They could have Dispute, but I don't see it. I don't see that being something that they play. I'm going to go a little more greedy route. I'm going to go ahead and play Euro and hope that they play out another Sprite Dragon. I'm going to decline this, and that maybe we can get a bigger extinction event next turn. Or they could just kill us with, 4 shocks. I guess that's the thing, too. Yep. Okay, so now we absolutely have to extinction event and hope that they don't have a counter. Oh, they kind of do. So if they have a shock again, then we are dead. If they have stomp, we're dead. They don't have anything, so that's good. So let's try for Bolas. They have a gust. Okay. We'll take that. Now at least they're in top deck mode where they have to have like a stomp or something like that. Okay. So now we go up to 3. We kill... Oddly enough, we kill the Dreadhorde Arcanist, because if we kill the Sprite Dragon, all they have to do is play the shock from their graveyard with the Dreadhorde. Now this way, at least, like, they have to kill Bolas, and if we draw a land, well, sort of. But we at least have Nissa here, gain another piece of life. And then next turn we have casualties. Actually, next turn we have Tamiyo plus casualties, which is pretty good. And they're still in top deck mode. It's not impossible for them to kill us, but them having 3 of the 4 shocks gone is definitely helpful. Okay, well, we're not dead yet. And that's the important thing. Alright, so we casualties, creature land, done. Let's hit one of their steam vents, just because. Gonna say they don't have any cards in hand, so I'm not sure what the pause is there for. And then we attack, play Tamiyo, gain another bit of life, and let's search for an eliminate. And we find one. Cool. And we have a Euro in the yard. That's good. That's awesome. Crash through. Just hope that they don't draw anything big here. So actually I'm first going to plus for a Hydroid Crisis. We didn't hit it. Okay. Well, we are going to gain as much life here as we can. Still play one from the yard. I guess the extinction event. Kind of have to be careful of what we get rid of since we have the Tamiyo here. Yeah, we'll go ahead and put that on the battlefield tapped. Plus on the Triumph, so that way we can actually play eliminate just off of the land if we should need to. And then I think we should be running away with this from here. They know we have the eliminate. Yep, okay. There's just not really much of anything that Izzet can do for stuff like that. So here, I think that's all we really bring in. The Gargaros to help kill the Sprite Dragons. The actually trade out the extinction events because they're not really going wide. They're just playing 1 or 2 creatures. An extinction event on 1 creature does not feel great. So we still have 4 cards to cut. Cultivate is probably a little too slow. Royal Scions doesn't really help. Liliana can be a little good just from the fact of like sacrificing, like make them sacrifice 2 creatures could be really helpful to us. So I guess we shave down an Ashiok. Tameo I actually like, just being able to dig through and find those cards that we need. You know, stuff like the Krasis or kill spell if we need it, or just getting back spells that were countered. Well, if either of these was a blue source, this would be a pretty perfect hand, but they're not, so this still isn't terrible. We'll just go ahead and get rid of second Euro. Okay, cool. And that made it much better. Now, yeah, okay. Never mind. Having the untapped land this turn is really helpful because now we can kill this Heartless Act before they can get we can kill Sprite Dragon with the Heartless Act before they have counters on it. And then next turn, well, next turn we don't really get to do much unless we get another untapped land. But keeping them off of creatures is definitely the way that we win this game. Okay. Well, we're going to take a little bit of damage, but we're going to hope that we can play this Euro. There we go. Perfect. So the now next turn, depending on what they play, we have the option of Elder Gargaroth or Ashiok. You know, both would be pretty helpful. It just kind of depends on what they play. All right. I think I'm actually going to go with Ashiok. My main reason being, more than likely they're holding up like an Aether Gust or something, and Ashiok does not get hit by that. There we go. Could also be that they just didn't care about Ashiok, but if they don't, they're going to learn very fast that that's a bad idea. Ashiok is one of those cards that, yeah, it just kind of sits there for a little bit and then takes over the game. Although I did have a pretty unfortunate thing during the Red Bull event. I ended up winning the game, but I ultimated Ashiok and it didn't let me play anything. And I don't know why. I have no idea why that would have happened, but they were all, like, there was plenty of cards that were exiled with Ashiok. I think I had attacked or blocked with, like, 3 or 4 triggers of Ashiok, and they were playable cards. But for whatever reason, it didn't let me play anything, and it just moved on through everything. So, I don't know. I even tried clicking the graveyard, tried clicking my graveyard, tried clicking the Ashiok that was in my graveyard, and I got nothing. So, I don't know what happened there, but Bauer 8906. Okay. You know, it's funny. Surprisingly, these are not going very long. Typically, these type of decks play the long game, and that's definitely what I'm built to do, but they haven't really been very long, and they're not going to be, apparently. Mono Red is definitely one of the worst matchups for us, especially with this type of hand. I kind of kept this just because we do have a lot of good draws in the deck, and we had all the mana that we needed, but we are more than likely getting punished. Okay, I'm actually okay with that. You can have that. I would, however, like to draw something else. Give me a Euro, Extinction Event, anything. Yep, give me Extinction Event. Okay, well, I could have used that. Yep, we are more than likely dead here. It's not even really much that we can play out to. And they could very likely have a Embercleave here. Okay, so go ahead and cycle this. Well, there's the Extinction Event. I think it's going to be a little too late, especially if they have Cleave. Yep, they have Cleave. Okay. So we want Erebos' Intervention, Heartless Act, Enter the God Eternals, and yeah, we'll bring in the Gargaroths. Go down Liliana's, go down Ashiok, go down both Bolas. It's only 2 Narsets. I think we go down to Royal Scions and 1 casualties. Casualties just doesn't really do as much. Actually, let's do that instead. Yeah, because I think Bolas is just a little bit too slow. And this one we will definitely be on the play, and we know what we're playing against now, so we can kind of craft our hand around that. Now, I don't like having the Ugin. That is definitely not something we want to see this early, unless we have a Nissa. But it does have Erebos' Intervention and Elder Gargaroth. So I think I'm going to keep this. The Intervention will help us gain a little bit of life and hopefully kill off some pretty problematic creatures. And then if we can land a Gargaroth, I think we should be in good shape. There's not much that they have that can actually punch through that. Yep. Okay, another land's not terrible. I'm not going to shock on anything yet. The Erebos' Intervention I would like to get a little bit more out of. Okay. Well, there's a Nissa, so that's pretty decent. So I'll go ahead and leave this up for now. Depending on what they do, we might even wait another turn. Yeah, because I want to kill this Annex, so we will wait until we can have X minus 3. So we do take 5 there, and that does hurt, but... And we'll want to do it before combat. That way they can't just throw an Embercleave on there. So... X minus 3 on the Annex. The good thing about that is that it makes it to where they only get 1 Satyr token as well. So we do get hit for, well, okay, so it's 5, 10, 11. So we definitely are playing the Gargaroth here. Thankfully, we don't have to shock for that. And for the blocks, we'll probably be gaining life. Oof, okay. Almost priced into making a 3/3 now then. But I kind of also really need the life. Let's just make a 3/3. So Gargaroth will die. Oh, so will I. Never mind. I'm just dumb. Oh, silly mono red. It's okay. Alright, so I'll play one more here. Yep, so that was a little bit of just not thinking on my part. Because, yeah, obviously the 8's going to go through, so I'm going to take an extra 2 damage from the Rimrock Knight no matter what. So, yeah, I definitely should have gained the life there. Whoops. All right, against Bubba Miller. So we're on the draw. If we hit a land, we are pretty much perfectly set up. Oof. Yeah, we'll try it. Okay, good. And we hit the land. Perfect. My main fear is that it was just going to be an immediate Mountain Fervent champion and we were just going to feel bad about ourselves. But this is a much better alternative. So the Cultivate is likely actually going to get Swamp. The reason being is that way we can actually play Bolas out. I know it seems weird when I'm also planning on playing Nissa, but this guarantees we have Bolas next turn. And so if they are planning on like Nissa here, then we can just answer back with Bolas. Okay. Well then. Yeah, we'll just Bolas. If they have an Aether Gust, then that's perfectly fine. We'll keep it on top. They do. Okay. So, like, our hand's already pretty stocked. There's not really anything that we're looking for. We're just waiting on them to make the move at this point. And if they're just kind of sitting around not really doing much of anything, then we benefit pretty huge from that. And now we have a resolved Bolas, which is awesome. So they could have Extinction Event. That is definitely something that they could be playing towards. And thankfully this exiles. But if they do have it casualties, then I would much rather them use that on Bolas than on Nissa. Or even Narset, honestly. Because that's going to hurt way more than pretty much anything that Bolas can do to them. Okay, so it looks like maybe they're just a little flooded. The bright side is we get to plus on our island and play an Narset here. Maybe. They could have an Eliminate. Heartless Act. Okay. Well. Can't do anything with it, but figured might as well. Okay. Well, that's alright. We still have Big Crisis next turn if we want to. We have a Failed Passage to go find our second blue source, depending on what we draw. I don't know what they have in hand. Okay. Let's go ahead and get our island. Play out this Narset, and then we will move from there, I believe. Sure. Tamio's cool. Oh, don't want to cycle. And I don't really want them to take our other blue source, so I'm just going to animate a land that isn't needed. Okay. Oh yeah, looks like they're just flooded. Okay. And we do have double cycle if we should want to, but it's also our other blue sources, so not really in any hurry there. Cultivate is fine. Definitely seems that our opponent got a little flooded this game, but I mean, I guess, let's see, so 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I guess we're actually pretty even there. And I mean, same thing that we've been doing, bringing in a couple negates, a couple Ashiok, or not Ashioks, not Enter the God Eternals either. What am I doing? Get out of here. Thought Distortion. And take out a couple Extinction Event, couple Cultivate, and actually we think we maybe drop a land, go down a Fabled Passage, and an Ashiok. Oh, the eliminates, duh. Like, I'll keep one in since they can kill Hydroid Crisis. And we'll see how this goes. Okay, so this was kind of the same thing that we kept last game, where it was just 6 lands Nissa. I am honestly thinking about keeping this again. I mean, it's 6 lands Krasis, but we know that they're a little bit slower, and us making sure that we can hit our land drops consistently is one of the best things that you can do. And we have pretty much all of our colors. Like, it sucks that the Triome is our only blue source right now, but we're on the draw, and the Krasis is probably just going to be our good card draw. I'm going to keep it. It's risky, but we're also up a game, so if it ends up not panning out perfectly, then it's not the worst thing in the world. Okay, so drawing the negate there is pretty good. That means, you know, when they untap on their turn 3, us having a negate for like their cultivates or Narsets or, you know, what have you, that's awesome for us. That's exactly what we want. Now, if they shock and have like a thought erasure here, obviously that's going to suck, but they end up not doing that. So, okay, so it's a little goofy, but I'm actually going to lead on Interplanar Beacon. Maybe this, you know, gets them to think like they don't really have anything. Okay, Euro's fine. That's not the end of the world. They did not have another land to put in, though. That's interesting. Okay. I am going to just go ahead and shock this breeding pool. Now, obviously, I don't have anything to play, but what that gets the opponent to maybe do is play around like negate plus dispute or, you know, disdainful stroke plus dispute, because most of the stock Sultai lists, they are running stuff like disdainful stroke and dispute in the side. Okay, so we will go ahead and negate this. We don't really have a ton of resources, so we don't really want them looking at our hand. Next turn, if we have to play a 2/2 Krasis, then that's fine. It's something that we'll do. Okay. I honestly think we can wait, though. Well, okay, so playing the Krasis plays around them having something like Aether Gust, to where if they do that, like if they gust the Krasis, then we'll just keep it on top, play the Nissa next turn, hopefully, and then play a big Krasis. Yeah, I like that line. Let's do that. And if they don't, well, then now we just, you know, have some sort of clock for them. And if they did bring in something like Thought Distortion and they play it here in a turn or two, they're going to be real sad. Like, real sad. Now, they did have a pause when I played the Krasis, but they also had the Fable Passage, so I don't think it was anything to worry about. Okay, this is awesome. So now we get an uncontested Nissa, and we're going to force them to kill their Teferi, more or less. They don't even have any untapped blue, so there is absolutely nothing to worry about. And I'm going to go ahead and do it with the beacon. That way we have a little bit of life gain there. They are a little bit ahead since they got their Euro down, but oh yeah, okay. I was wondering what the pause was for, but it's because they have the Teferi that they can plus at any time. And we will absolutely send both of these at Teferi. Not that Teferi is all that strong, but they're missing land drops, they're missing cards, so putting them down cards and like not giving them the draw ability is really important for us. Sure. So they have to ditch a Krasis, which is good. That's kind of what we want to see. Now they do get a Euro here, but we have things like Casualties of War, we have Ugin, we have all kinds of stuff that, makes us not all that afraid. Actually, they don't have a Euro because they don't have a second green source. Okay, we have another Nissa, so that's not too bad. And this is where I was talking about. You can see from the opponent making sure to hit all your land drops, even if, obviously we're flooded and we're just hoping to draw good spells, but we're also not missing any land drops. We're keeping everything pretty even. We are forcing them to have answers to everything that we do. And more often than not, that's going to lead to victories more than, oh, but I have all of these powerful spells, and if I just get to cast them, then I'm going to win the game. Well, you can't always rely on that. There's always the thing of mana screw beats mana flood, but when you're in these type of mirrors, it's kind of the reverse. Sure. They can have their Nissa. I will likely cycle at end step. Yep. I don't think they attack in here, but they could. They still cannot play Euro just yet. All right, we'll go ahead and cycle this Triome here. Hit more land. Okay, that's fine. So let's go ahead and Tamiyo. Let's search for Casualties. Didn't find it. It was going to be between Casualties and Ugin, so I'm a little sad that we hit the Ugin there. But that's okay. We can get it back next turn, so that's not a big deal. Okay, so let's do this. Let's go ahead and cycle here. No, Euro's not a bad hit. Euro is not a bad hit. Yep, and just go ahead and swing all at Nissa. It will be dead regardless. Okay, cool. So no blocks here means we actually get to play a Euro. And Fabled Passage. Oh, yeah. And I was going to say, go ahead and get an island. Now we have blockers. We are set up for pretty much anything that they could do. Bring back Euro doesn't really do much now. Okay, I mean, that's fine. We still have 9 power on board. And if they -5, then we are very happy about that. Okay. Hell yeah. So, go to combat. We kill Ugin, hit them for 6. And then now we get to bring back our Euro. Get rid of mostly lands here. Actually, since we have another land, might as well. Liliana, huh? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. So shock in, play Lily. Gain pretty much all of our life back. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1 card in hand. If it's a second Ugin, then we don't want that happening, right? So let's just go ahead and sacrifice some things. doesn't really hurt us all that much. We can still just bring back Euro next turn. It hurts them way more because Ugin is one of their big outs. Okay, or at the very least, like, all they can do is bring back a Euro now. We have our own Ugins that we can draw. Do still have casualties in there as well. Sure. Now, they didn't even think about that. They could have gotten rid of our Euro if they wanted to, which honestly I think is probably the better play. Just, well, try and keep as many good things in here as we can. Well, I guess we just get rid of both Nisas. That's fine. Erebos' intervention is sweet. One, two, three, four, five, six. Okay. And they can bring it back next turn. So let's hold off. No attacks. Hopefully they attack. They'll get to gain a little bit of life, but we can just block with Euro, trade, and then exile their board. Or their grave. Sure. That's fine. We do get to draw a card. Bolas is great. Only one card left in hand. Sure. Oops. So, block, block. Do it like that, but we will go ahead and get rid of their yard. There's 7, so I need 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Doop, 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 doop. Get all that out of here. And now they can't bring back Euro. We lose a couple lands, but we're sitting at 30. We still have plenty of mana to play whatever we want. We get to draw a couple of cards. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so. Okay, sure. Now we can just bring Euro back, so that's fine. They pitch an Overgrown Tomb. Okay. Still only one card in hand. Go ahead and bring back the old Euro. Yeah, Lemonade's a pretty good draw. So now, even if they find a way to bring back Euro, we can just eliminate it. Or if they find like a Crisis or something like that. 2, 4, 6, 8. So, yeah. They would draw 4, gain 4, but then we would just get to kill it immediately. Yep. So it's actually only 3 and 3. I always forget to add the extra 2 in there. But that's okay. We get to eliminate. Boom. And next turn, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. More if we find our Nissa. Hey, look at that. Ask and you shall receive. Opponent gives us the GGs. All right, there we go. And that's what I mean. Like, I absolutely love these type of mirrors. This is where I live. Back in the day with the Khans of Tarkir standard, there towards the tail end, they added in a few more dragons, and the deck of choice was called Esper Dragon's Control. Your main win conditions were Ojutai and I can't remember the name of the card. Dragon Lord's Premonition, I believe it was. It was like a 6-mana uncounterable draw 4 or something like that. But Ojutai was like your main way to win. And if you don't know what Ojutai was, it was a 3 white and a blue 5/4 dragon that has hexproof as long as it's untapped. But when it attacks, you look at the top 3 cards of your library, pick one, put the rest on the bottom. So you get free anticipate every time it attacks, but you leave it open. So the whole thing there was you were just building a control deck that slowly took over the game and then just started chipping in for 5 every turn until you died. There was also Slumgar, the Dragon Lord Slumgar. When it entered the battlefield, you take control of a creature or a planeswalker until it left the battlefield. It was a 6-mana 3/6, I believe. But, like, we went to an open, and I had been talking to my group the whole time that, man, I know everybody is dreading these mirrors, but that's all I want. That's all I want to play is these Esper Dragon mirrors. And that's what I did. For 5 of the 6 rounds that we played, all of them were Esper Dragon mirrors. The only other one was mono red, which is always a bad deal for control, but I actually ended up beating that and then lost to a couple of the mirrors, and that, put me out. But it was awesome. I loved it. I loved that time. That's just, I don't know. That's kind of my kind of magic. I can play aggro decks, I can do combo decks, I can do stuff like that, but if we're talking about what my favorite thing to do is, it's definitely these mid-range control grindy mirror matches. But enough ranting about me. So we'll go over the deck list one more time. Apparently we got a couple new cards that we already had. So this is the list, just to go over it one more time. I still think this is definitely a version that you might want to play if you're looking to help grind out those mirrors. Just having stuff like Ashiok and Bolas, there are other directions of attack that these stock Sultai Ramp lists don't have. And you, like as you saw in a couple of those games, you having those 1 or 2 little key things can just end the game. Like you saw the one game we played Bolas, and that was it. They died. That was it. They gave up. Like, having that extra little bit is so much more like beneficial to you than not having it. Like, sure, there will be some matchups where Bolas is just terrible, but that's okay. Just take it out. When you go into your sideboard games, you just don't play it. Royal Scions, that's kind of the slot that I'm still iffy on. I don't know. I haven't actually got to cast it, so I don't know. It's possible that maybe that should be another Cultivate or a Grazer, another Narset, or maybe even another main deck kill spell. I'm not sure. I'll just keep testing around with that and see. But overall, absolutely love this list. If you want to, I think this will be going up Wednesday morning, so catch my stream. It would be tonight then. And, I'll be playing a few different types of decks here. This will probably be one of them just because I'm trying to iron it out in case I do any more tournaments. But, all right, let's go back to the fun stuff. Hiya. Okay, so that's it for the baking sheet this week. Make sure to check out next week's episode when that comes up. If you haven't already, like I said, check out my stream at GingerbeardManGamer. If you haven't checked out my Twitter, do so at tgingerbeardman. I think that's about all I can plug. I do have something in the works that I'm super excited for. I haven't been able to announce it just yet, just still getting some details ironed out, but keep a lookout on Twitter for that. I will definitely be talking about that as soon as I get more to talk about, but just know that I'm giddy and I'm ready to tell everybody. So, see you all next week.